Great. So I will just do a little introduction, introducing the title and the two artists that are here today, and the format of the Gallery Surfing, which is an event series that where we go online to browse and discuss different net art activities with artists who, in our opinion, are shaping the net art space. Zakowski, the curator of panke.gallery, started the format in 2013 already on YouTube, and then did live streaming events from panke.gallery during COVID. For example, with Jody and Morgen and Annette.
Hallo und willkommen.
The idea is to collectively browse the internet. So instead of gallery hopping through the city of Berlin, we could also go on the web and surf the online exhibitions together. When we started thinking about this session, we first wanted to call it from URL to IRL, but Maya shared with us that she's not too keen on the term IRL because online life is real life, which we all agree. So she came up with the title Chat Is This Real, which is actually a meme that works perfectly with both Maya's and Aram's practice.
He gets his own Tesla car with a built-in AI assistant of Cristiano Ronaldo so that he can talk to him whenever he wants. If I show Speed reacts to this video, I will make sure that he gets his own...
Chat, is this real? Like, bitch, it is!
So, Chat Is This Real is a catchphrase referencing a question that is frequently asked by streamers to their viewers, aka the chat, to find out if a story or piece of content that they are reacting to is real. It's often used ironically for obviously fake content. So this meme alludes to the confusion, uncertainty, or even anxiety of what some call the post-truth era or AI slop era. It also demonstrates the entertainment value that this confusion creates. Maybe later on in the surfing session we could talk about not only the notion of authenticity and the real on the internet, but also of the ephemeral, anonymous, or always present and addressable chat. So we invited Aram and Maya to come together because both of their practices explore the realities that form on and through the internet. They examine online economies, social media, and current technologies, as well as their aesthetic, personal, and societal implications. Having participated in the early developments of AI applications, from glitchy gun-generated animations, random text generators, and face filters, to the currently highly developed AI models that generate sophisticated videos from single images. Aram and Maya are about to share the experiences they have gained by using these tools and reflect on the effects they've had on their own artistic practice, as well as the online and offline environments they inhabit. So Maya's focused on contemporary identity culture on the internet. Her websites, generative series, and installations examine dominant narratives around femininity, authenticity, and performance of the self online. She also until recently curated her own net art project space, Heart, in New York City, and she brought some of the merch from the space here because, we are all also in the business of bringing net art to the gallery space. And Aram mostly doesn't work online per se, but uses sculptural interventions, installations, and performative workshops to question our engagement with media and with public economies linked to social networks, online platform, and the digital dissemination strategies. He addresses socially relevant topics like surveillance, data privacy, and technology dependence by transferring the gaps, contradictions, and absurdities of our everyday digital lives into physical settings. He has most recently curated a one-day group show on phones on the topic of brain rot at panke.gallery. So we are very happy that you both are here. And we start with two little artist presentations of like 5 to 10 minutes by Maya and Aram. And then we go and browse some more together. Thank you for being here.
do. But this led me to feel like I really wanted to build a tool that would be able to capture the way that I looked most of the day, which is not like my life was looking on Instagram. Instead, most of the day, honestly, I'm on my computer. So I built this browser extension called GlanceBack, where once a day at random, when you open a new tab, GlanceBack turns on the webcam and asks you what you're thinking about. And then you start to collect this archive of all of these photos of you looking at your computer, no expression on your face. And I have it actually running in I always have it on my new tab page now. So I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. I didn't really look at these before, but it's quite intimate. So I've been doing this since 2018, and it's just, I've always wanted to have some mode of documentation, but writing this software that automatically runs on my machine every day, I'm pretty reliably in Chrome or using the browser every day. So I start to collect this archive of me with no expression, and then write down whatever I am thinking about that day. I was really stressed carrying some ceramic work here to Berlin. And so what's interesting to me about GlanceBack is, when I look at these photos of myself, it doesn't necessarily feel more realistic, but actually I just feel like it was capturing a really different dimension of myself. And GlanceBack is a public browser extension, so you can get the extension. There's like 9,000 people who use it now, and so it's been a special project because there's lots of, I can't see anyone's photos, but sometimes people share them online, and then I get a glimpse of what their GlanceBack photos look like. Okay, and so all of this, GlanceBack I made in 2018, A Realistic Day in My Life I made in 2024, and over the years working so heavily on the internet and working now independently as an artist, I started to really feel like I wanted to bring people together more, especially post-pandemic in physical space. And so last year, I started this curatorial project called Heart, which was based out of my studio in Soho. But unfortunately, some of the events were too crowded. And so the landlord told me I can't host it in my studio anymore. But yeah, I was excited to talk about this, and specifically talk about, this is an article on an interview on Arena Editorial with Meg Miller about this space. But I was excited to talk about this because I see a lot of parallels between the opening show that I did called Sacred Screenshots, which included 26 artists, all New York City based, and the show that Aram curated here at Panke with the phones. So here we can see. Each artist chose a screenshot from their camera roll that they felt was sacred in some way, and we printed them. You can see they're pretty large on foam like ultra board, and then had them hanging in the space. And it was kind of nice. It was a nice way to show something that was like related to the artist's practice, but wasn't the artist's work per se, and was also created a really uniform show, which I think was true for the show from what I saw in install photos at Panke as well. But I was really craving with Heart, wanting to have lots of different events that brought people together like this around the internet, software, and pop culture. And I wanted to really focus on kind of one night live events. So Rhizome hosted something called the Super Ultimate Internet Day. I hosted performances here. This one is by my friend Zarina Neres. And so this is Mindy Sue giving a talk on the sexual history of the internet. And so that was Heart. And now I'm looking to, here's install shots of Sacred Screenshots. So now I'm looking to kind of continue this in other spaces. But for me, it added a really nice opposite practice to being an artist independently, working so heavily on the internet, something that was really about bringing people together. The opening was really hot in August, so in the photos, everyone is really sweaty. Okay, and so the opposite of real, of course, is fake, and fake is also, this kind of dichotomy is something that I'm always thinking about in my work, and I think we're going to talk a lot about too, thinking about artificial intelligence, what's real and what's not. But fake shows up in the title of this piece of mine called Fake It Till You Make It. This is live running JavaScript that's generating these different Oh, it's a bit of lag. But yeah, it's generating these different graphics. And this piece, it's JavaScript based, and it's focused on the graphics around Instagram wellness, self-care. And I wanted to write an algorithm that kind of emphasized the absurdity to me of all of these different graphics, but also the kind of strange beauty in the randomness of the language that was collaged together and paired. And often it turns out things that are surprisingly meaningful to me or funny. And I like thinking about how to take this type of language and then also turn that into something that can be in physical space too. And so we have a little something reminiscent of the gift shop here, but in the past I've done kind of gift shop style installations with language generated by this algorithm. And it's also a book, which I have, which I can show more of later. But going from this idea of fake, I think now we're kind of moving into this really big question of like, what is artificiality, and how do you identify that? And in my work, I've worked with AI a little bit. Everything else I've showed is JavaScript based, so it's not a machine learning model necessarily. But already, this is a project that I did in collaboration with Anne Hirsch called Ugly Bitches. This was from 2023, and it was GAN based. And so you can already see how kind of like vintage this AI generation looks. But this project, it's called Ugly Bitches, and it was focused on dolls as a data set and thinking about the performance of femininity online. And so I think this is kind of a good morphing video of the dolls. And so Anne and I, both of us are really interested in gender and performance on the internet. We translated this into kind of like a physical plushie with Mocha. And so, yeah, thinking about how to move things from kind of like the artificiality of the screen, but all into physical space. But yeah, that was kind of our initial work with an AI model. And then we had a follow-up project focused on men called Little Darlings, which we instead fine-tuned a stable diffusion model on action figures, so instead of dolls, to create these kind of very like polished looking, which I think is much more reminiscent of the AI imagery we're used to seeing now, images like this, and they're paired with comments from kind of male influencer account Instagrams. Yeah. And so, okay, I'll end there because I've been talking for a really long time and that was a lot. But yeah, I wanted to also end here because tomorrow there's a group show called Masculinity that's opening at the gallery Quantum Gallery in Berlin. And Anne and I have 2 ceramic works and a video work in it. And so, yeah, if you happen to be around, I'll be there tomorrow. But, okay, with that, I'll hand it over.
Okay, yeah. Great, thank you. I'm not that well prepared as you were.
That's
so
all
let me see. Can I get in? Yeah. Yeah. So I'm very pleased to be here, and I'm also first time doing this format. It's a pleasure. I hope it's a continuous series. You gonna do this more? Yeah. Yeah. You should do it. Yeah. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. We love the green screen. It's like you can still see it, and yeah, I'm in the shadow a bit. I can be like this and hide behind it, maybe. Yeah. So we are. I just came back from Hamburg where I'm teaching, and I taught a class this morning, and now I'm here, and there's many tabs open. I wanted to go through quickly, maybe some of them interesting, because I was also talking about this morning already. But since we're here in Panke and you already introduced the show, which I co-curated with Socrates, who's sitting over there, and also some artists are present of the show, like Espen. Here's a picture, and this was the one-night event, Total Screen Time, which took place already in Greece, in Athens, last fall in November. And in case you have missed it, in case you haven't been here for the opening, I show you some pictures. It's kind of funny to sit in the gallery and show pictures of the gallery again. Now we look at phones in the gallery. Yeah. The idea is that 30 artists are invited, and they bring their phones. Not all of them. I mean, in the end, we provided some phones too, but the idea is to for the artists to bring phones and hang them. We glue them on the wall for one night and show artworks, digital works from the phone. And it kind of, it works really well. I mean, people are very used to look at phones, and you get this intimate situation close up. You have also, at some point, you need some cables for charging. This is a bit very bright, the beamer. And some pieces were swapped out in the during the night of the show. But overall, this was Jonas was streaming in over FaceTime. Like, people would think this is a video, but then it appears to be an artist talking. This happened. For me, it's maybe in a series of a longer series of making my own artwork, but also curating or coming up with exhibition formats. There's this crazy website of mine with all these projects on it, and I have to find it myself. Maybe just like as a quick glance, go down to speech shows, which was back in the day somewhere here. So speech shows was 2010, and this was, maybe the starting point of like curating shows, and it wasn't really curating. It was more the idea of, hey man, let's go to the internet and have an internet cafe and have a show there. And there's nothing on here. I have to go here. So we would go, those are the pictures from Athens. We would go to the internet cafe, rent all computers for one night and show art on them. And this was an open format for many years now. You're very much invited to do a speech show yourself. You can send me pictures after, and then I'm very happy to put your show in this website. This was the Athens show we did last November. Let's have a quick look here. This internet cafe is a very special cafe because it's a family business, and it's hard to find these places nowadays. Athens still has them. And they told me in the end they're open since over 20 years, every day, 24 hours. Like, they never close. It's pretty crazy, actually. Yeah. So this has been going on for quite some years, like coming up with show formats in different concepts, but today we will, there's a lot to talk about. I want to go through these tabs a little up here. Well, this is the archive of Jody. If you don't know the address, like, this is very good to know. Actually, it's joy.org archive. It's very hard to find otherwise. I was showing today, I want the students to do a desktop performance, and it's kind of what we're doing right now. And I think I was showing this video. It's like these famous pieces they did back in the day. Scripted, and also, is it manual or is it scripted? Zakowski, you know this? It's manual even, right? And now we're looking at a video from 14 years ago and the pieces from 2002, and we're looking at some very old iMac interface. Yeah. And so we go, let's go through some of these guys here. Yeah, we probably will have a show at the Kachelraum of the panke.gallery in Hamburg with the students in July, and we were checking out the space today. I guess it's more going to be like a party than a show, actually. Looks like it, right? Yeah. We installed Black Hole to loop the sound through the Apple, virtual sound card, because you cannot capture sound otherwise. This is our new digital minister in Germany. He's not a politician, but he's famously running Mediamarkt. So, and for all the Germans, it's like, oh yeah, he knows like about computers and dishwashers, and he should run the digital ministry. Like, he's like a real good guy. Yeah, and it's kind of, you probably, if you follow the news the last days, it's going to be a nightmare. Like Philipp Amthor is going to be his sidekick, like the Wadenbeißer maybe. And they also want like admin rights. They're already talking about, we need to have like access, like we need to, our digital ministry needs to be more important than the other ones, and blah, blah, blah. So I think they're dreaming of some, Philipp Amthor for sure is dreaming of some Doge style stuff. yeah, while we were looking at old screens and well, teaching just students like what was going on back in the days. Ah, yeah, we looked at this. I love it. This is Molly Soda cleaning her desktop. But it's kind of funny because, I mean, today everything is on the phone, especially for the student generations, obviously. And now I want them to go back to the desktop and see what's going on. And I had to point them to, because nobody gets to this idea. This is like the posters on the wall, right? We used to have, and they were like, yeah, not really anymore. But then the Facebook wall was kind of the thing of the pictures on the wall, but turned into the feed and everything became a nightmare. But this looks very cozy. I love how she's yeah, cleaning up her room. And yeah, you need to have a collection on your computer, right? It's not enough to be on a platform and to have all the bookmarks for whatever Instagram posts. Like, you need to have the files. Like, right now we're downloading all the students downloading the Instagram profile, like all the files. And I asked for the archive myself. And since I put the checkbox, like, I want all my files and I want them in the most like highest resolution. And now it says, yeah, it's going to take up to 30 days until we can deliver this. And it's very obvious that Meta is doing this on purpose to have you forget you asked for it, and also to not have you leave, obviously. Yeah, we looked at the workers leaving the factory, the very old famous Lumiere brother movie, but just, I mean, we didn't watch it, we didn't really watch it long. Everybody in film, of course, knows there's also the train coming into the station, 1895. But then I wanted to show them, and I always have, every day I teach, I have an artist of the day, and this is a beautiful piece by Andrew Norman Wilson, The Google Workers Leaving the Factory. I very much recommend you.
In September 2007, I was hired jointly by Transvideo Studios and Google, both headquartered in Mountain View, California.
Let's have a short.
Transvideo had a contract with Google and took care of 100% of their video production in Mountain View, and sometimes elsewhere. My labor was sold to Google in the form of a 9-to-5 job. I had access to a personally unprecedented amount of privileges, but was not entitled to the ski trips, Disneyland adventures, stock options, and holiday cash bonuses from their team of temporary Santa Clauses. Thousands of people with red badges, such as me, my team, and most other contractors, worked amongst thousands of people with white badges as full-time Googlers. Interns are given green badges. However, a fourth class exists at Google that involves strictly data entry labor, or more appropriately, the labor of digitizing. These workers are identifiable by their yellow badges, and they go by the team name ScanOps. They scan books page by page for Google Book Search. The workers wearing yellow badges are not allowed any of the privileges that I was allowed. Ride the Google bikes, take the Google luxury limo shuttles home, eat free gourmet Google meals, attend authors at Google Talks and receive free signed copies of the author's books, or set foot anywhere else on campus except for the building they work in. They are also not given backpacks, mobile devices, thumb drives, or any chance for social interaction with any other Google employees. Most of whom...
Yeah, it goes on like this. It's like a 10-minute video, and to summarize it, I mean, now you see these workers who have no rights, and they're like the lowest class, they don't have badges, and etc. And they're leaving the factory, right? It's like a reference to that old movie. But in the end, he gets kicked out for doing this video. And it's really beautiful, like how he's explaining, because then they ask him, why are you doing this? And then he's writing all these like very long answers by email. Well, yeah, it's different classes, and like he's really explaining what's going on, and of course they freak out, and they kick him out in the end. And he says like he couldn't find the other tape, but we're watching the video right now, so he must have taken the other tape. Yeah, I like him very much. This is the video about asking Sony why the color of the beamer is blue, the projector, and it's really funny how the customer service is replying to that and stuff like that. So it's all like, it's like proper post-internet 2011 stuff, and the aesthetics are great. And oh yeah, this is coming up. Zakowski, when is it? May 15, yeah. Damianska. Damianski's doing, you want to say something about it? Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Bring a phone, bring a meme. Yeah.
I talked to him about it in New York, actually. Yeah, it sounds really good. I'll be gone, but I wish I could go. Yeah, we were talking about doing it at. Oh, thanks. We were talking about doing it at Heart, but then the space went away. So I'm glad you're hosting it.
Yeah. I just closed some other tabs, so we don't need to talk about everything. But this is another online talk which is coming up next week. So you're very much invited to sign up. It's like the links are like in social media, and Dani Plöger is organizing it. Yeah, it's kind of, it's an interesting discussion, because what you see here is a present by Netanyahu to Donald Trump, and it's like a golden pager. So it's like critical art versus prank politics. Like something. It's not really funny anymore, but something switched sides there. And there's a talk at the Jahrestagung Digital Interventions. I do like a Kill Your Phone workshop next week as well at the Hau2. This is going on. This is going on. And I had an interview beginning of last week, which was funny, about China Channel, the very old work I did with Tobias Leingruber and Evan Roth. And this was in 2008, I think it says here. Tobias programmed this little add-on for the browser, so you could browse the web as if you were in China. And it really kind of hit the news. It went pretty viral back then. And there's a show in ZKM about browser art and filters and stuff. And they're doing a catalog, and they asked us to contribute something. This is the FAT blog, which is kind of half broken, unfortunately. The artist collective I was part of, and we developed the thing in there. And they also wanted to know about my diploma from 2001, which was a Flash website. We don't need to go into this, but I made a video about it because Flash died some years ago, so you can watch the video instead of Flash. And I was looking at your page, obviously.
This is my website called Shift Reality Instantly, very powerful. There's a secret to it, actually. Underneath, it's based on subliminals, the culture of subliminals, which maybe some of you are familiar, but it's like a genre of content online on SoundCloud or YouTube where people whisper kind of affirmations underneath different audio. So you can't really hear what they're saying, but they'll be titled something like, get your crush to like you back, or, get straight A's or whatever. And the idea is that if you just listen to this on repeat, that will happen. It's like a manifestation format. So under the this is all happening on HTML canvas, and then underneath that, actually, like hidden behind in the HTML, are some affirmations about reality shifting, in case you want to escape this reality for another one. But yeah, there they are.
Is it here?
I can shift. I am prepared to shift. I can shift reality. There's a lot of them. But you can sometimes, you can see it if you try to go down.
What else we had? This is the book.
Oh, this is my website called Read It and Weep. It's generative, so all the text is not generated, but the text is in random order every time, and it's excerpts from articles, books, and essays, but also in white, what's happening down there behind our heads. Excerpts from my journals over the past 10 years. And then, kind of what I call internet trash, like Tumblr quotes or TikTok sounds. That's my book,
You already had, you showed this. That's your website. That's the show at ZKM, Choose Your Filter. Yeah, and there's just like, I've been working, there's going to be a show at Kunsthaus Hamburg, the foyer, maybe you're doing something. Well, oh yeah, I also do something here and there. I was looking into telephone books. It's really funny. Like I was trying to find this, public telephone books used to be on a piece of metal, and you can flip them over, so they were like fixed to the table, but you could read them. And it was really hard to find pictures of this, except this one. I'm sure there's other pictures of it, but I still remember it from back in the day in the phone booth. And in Spain, in the museum, they want to show the password books I made, and they were scared they could be stolen. So I proposed this this sort of stand. But there's too many tabs open here. You wanna take over maybe again, or we are looking. I mean, this is all like teaching stuff, explaining binary. It's pretty funny. There's funny videos about, like, I started showing like AI generated videos explaining stuff, and they're like so creepy, and it's funny. This is Kunstsurfer is a browser plugin which is run by Heiko and friends in Zurich, and you have a browser add-on is showing instead of the advertisement is showing other stuff you sent them. I think I have it up. Can you
Yeah.
quickly? I think I have it up in Chrome. I haven't prepared this actually, but we need to check maybe some stupid website like online, and I have to check. If this is on or not. Yeah, it's probably, is it on? Yeah, it should be on. Yeah, it's not working yet, but active, something else.
I've used it. It's very
I think
cool.
it's still loading, but it shows like demonstration videos, police brutality in the background. Usually, yeah, I haven't checked before. I'm really sorry. We should see something in the background now, but it's going somewhere. You can check it out on kunstsurfer.net, and it will be like these sort of video snippets of what's been going on in Berlin in the last 2 years. And yeah, what else?
What else?
I can close more tabs. Well, here's some. This is like really old tabs. They're open for a very long time. You do this, like
yeah.
And I'm still like, oh fuck yeah, I still need to. There's this discussion about a certain map in Counter-Strike, and they added one crate on top, and the whole community went nuts. They were like, oh no, this changes the whole balance, and now you don't need like a second person to climb up there. And well, I also made some Counter-Strike boxes back in the days, so people sent me this stuff, and I have this open, and it's for a long time open, and I always wonder. I have this open for a long time. It's a dead drop from my Dead Drops website project from back in the days with the USB sticks on the wall. You may have seen, and this is in Moscow, and somebody put like a RFID card under the bridge, like under some stone, with a link to a Telegram channel. I really like this this way of doing dead drops. It's like a proper dead drop, actually. So that was my selection.
I really like this because I feel like you're being more realistic than me. This is a realistic day in your life, but I sort of really designed my tabs that were open.
No, it's fine. I mean, I've been doing these talks about like art projects like many times, and I thought this was more like a I like it, but
okay. Well, I want to. Okay,
go?
the tab that I had opened right before.
You want to
If I
go?
share.
Yeah.
Okay, I just saw this, and I saw this in my email inbox, and this was really top of mind for me because I just got off of my flight from New York, and I was thinking how much I really like airplane food and how much I really prioritize it when I'm on the plane, like as sort of like my like holy grail of experience of the flight. Like I'm like, this is the best food ever. I'm really excited. And yeah, so I was really charmed that this showed up in my inbox. Okay, but what I like about this is I feel like and this format is nice because Corey Archangel has this arena channel called "What Does a Contemporary Artist Do All the Day?" Maybe I should just find it. And sometimes I see him post. Oh yeah, this channel. What exactly does a contemporary artist do all day? And for some reason, I haven't spent that much time with this channel, but something about the title of the channel really lives in my head, all like rent free all the time, because like this process of going through different tabs and just seeing what's kind of open on your computer, even if it's not directly your work, it feeds so much into your practice. Yeah, and so I kind of like seeing what's going on behind the scenes. But okay, maybe I'll show you this, something I was working on earlier. So okay, so something I've been thinking about and kind of questioning is when a lot of like I really like writing code and kind of using like systems logic based programming. I feel like it gives me a lot of fine-tuned control over what's happening, and I feel like with sort of the kind of like pop culture advent of artificial intelligence and the way that people are using ChatGPT and image generation and all of that, it's become a lot harder for me to talk about writing code as a medium. But like if I say that something was generated, people automatically think that it was AI generated. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to still continue that practice of writing code in a way it feels almost vintage in the age of vibe coding. But yeah, so something that I've been really into lately is thinking about collections, and I think about, you know, everything on Arena as a collection. But I live in Chinatown in New York, and I walk to my studio in Soho, and I walk by all of these New York tourist gift shops all of the time, and I'm really, really into all of the different keychains that are at the tourist gift shops, and I just love that they're these kind of fantasy representations of New York. So I bought maybe 200 or so keychains. And spent a lot of money at these gift shops, and I worked with some friends we photographed them all, and then for their first issue of this magazine they wanted to have an installation at the bottom of the magazine, like a footer almost for every page that's consistent, like a through line. And so at first I was gonna lay them all out by hand, and then I realized that it would be much easier and more interesting to just write a script that lays them out. So I was playing around with this processing script. I'll just run it to do kind of an automatic keychain layout. It takes a long time to load all of the okay, there they go. But I feel like this is kind of I'll decide to do something like this, and I'm like, it's kind of conceptually generative, but it's also so much easier than laying it all out by hand, writing a script. Yeah, so I've been just thinking about how to still write code and use it in a way that I'm able to talk about clearly, talking about like randomness and chance. But yeah, I've also been working with some AI stuff too. But yeah.
It's funny because they they invited us, or for me the invitation, and you should talk about AI, and I was like, well, yeah, I have something, but it's not. I'm not really like. We are looking at this like all the time now, but. And I can show it quickly, and maybe wait, we have to go here. Share my screen again. Well, this is the add-on. It didn't work earlier, but so when you go to these websites, instead of the advertisement, you see video snippets in the background. There also maybe the sound sometimes, not here, and sometimes it's really fitting. And I made these, build setting was of course awful, but they had like a certain pattern, like how these banners work, and then I cut them from the videos, from these different video situations. And there's sound too. So this is fun surfing the web. This is MediaMarkt? No, this is Kaufland Diamond. So yeah, we get the vibe of this. Yeah. I still need to do proper documentation. Well, we all know, I mean, there's police brutality all the time everywhere, but in Germany in the past few years, I saved you from this, it got really out of hand. It started with the climate activists, which got like their whatever fingers, arms broken, and all the Palestine solidarity protests also got a lot of police violence. So obviously, there's a carte blanche in Berlin right now from Wegner or the Senate, and kind of they can do what they want a little bit there. And yeah, the replacing advertisement also in browsers has a long history as art projects. There's many predecessors from this sort of work, and I show you also in this context one of the recent works. It kind of started as a this is a nice one. Quickly, somebody freaked out in the show in Nordrhein-Westfalen recently. It's a phone on a chair, and it's smoking. And you could think it's a battery like about to explode, but there's a vaporizer just like doing water vapor.
I've seen this and I wondered how it was working.
Yeah, I don't have that, but the vaporizer's under the chair and everything is like fixed to it, and there's a little hole behind it. Like when you look from the top, you can see the hole, but
the documentation is very elusive.
Yeah, it's like one of these pieces that work really well on the website.
Yeah,
but when you're there, you're like when you look under it, it's. But I made an effort to so the cable goes over the chair, the corner of the chair, but in fact there's a hole, so the real cable goes under the chair. So it's like, so that there's no extra cable underneath. So
that's funny.
I put some detail in it. But and somebody freaked out from an insurance company at that opening apparently. But I wanted to show you quickly. Oh, it's not even on the front page. It's somewhere here. My AI work. I have one AI piece, and it's also about police violence. And well, it's like all these ugly pictures from police violence online, and then I thought like maybe I can combine it with the ugly pictures from AI, and this came out. Let's have a look. Is that moment where you asked, I put in a frame, just the still frame, and kind of no prompt, asking the AI what would happen next. In the end, you will see what happens. Dancing, happy, friends, more dancing. The helmets are like different style. Suddenly the policeman becomes a protester. It's funny too, like how sides flipped. And maybe you've seen that clip, but that's how that's what they like to do currently. I mean, there's many videos of. It's this sort of like if you have kids, they do this when they're 3 years old, just to testing, like push each other in the back. It reminds me of that, and yeah.
When did you make this?
This is from last summer. Yeah, you can already tell by the AI quality, it's vintage.
How did you make the video?
It's just like uploading to these like websites. I'm not an expert. And it's funny when you go now to Hyper or something, it's already gone. It's very quick market turnaround. Like everybody is begging you to use the AI. Like Microsoft is pushing Copilot in every app. Like I see it now everywhere in school. But yeah, and the students, they hate it. Like everybody's like, oh man, like they don't want to deal with it really. Yeah, that's my AI piece. And I have, you want to show yours or?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it would be here. Oh, let me,
Can you grab it?
okay, I thought this would be okay, this is not an artwork. But I thought it would be funny to actually show my ChatGPT history. Also on the topic of what does a contemporary artist do all day. So this is actually my boyfriend's ChatGPT account because he like pays for the better one. So we're on the same account, but it's interesting psychologically because I don't want to like, not that I want to ask it anything weird, but you know, it's just sort of this like, I'm like, oh, I'm not the only one who's going to like see what I'm asking it. But yeah, I thought I was just looking at this today, and it's like a combination of both of our requests, but just seeing like the types of things that I've kind of gotten used to asking it. Like I was asking it how to secure ceramic sculptures on pedestals. Here are the two pieces that are in the masculinity show. There are these ceramic works that are based on those little darlings that I showed you. They're like AI generated images. We worked with a ceramicist who's amazing to make them physical. But I was seeing how to secure those. Oh, best phone for video loop. Okay, this actually relates to your kind of smoking phone because I have a piece called Love/Hate that's like this. It's a punching bag that hangs from the ceiling, and then in the front there's a pocket that runs videos on the phone of a compilation of TikToks. But this is going to a show in Antwerp in the fall that I'm really looking forward to. But there's a lot of kind of questions and concerns around like the phone getting too hot playing the video. So I'm kind of looking at what's the best phone to recommend they get? Can we swap them out in the middle of the day? Because it's in the pocket, is it going to overheat?
Need a cooling in the punching bag somehow? Like
yeah, maybe.
Like
I mean,
water cooling, like a used thing.
the punching bag, it's a found object. It's like a child's punching bag. Yeah, but I was like, maybe there's some, I don't know, we've been coming up with all kinds of.
I can recommend you some water vapor devices.
Yeah, maybe we should actually have it smoking. That'll just add to the effect. Get freaked out. I'm working on a piece with pool inflatables, so I asked it how long will it take me to blow up a pool inflatable with my mouth, and then I was like, this is going to take me so long. And then I'm doing a talk at Rhizome World, which is happening in New York right now, which is Rhizome's kind of month-long digital art exhibition related to Heart, the curatorial project of mine, but with a curator, and we're kind of formatting it like a love line call-in with like frustrations around art, the internet, the art world. And so I was trying to come up with kind of like cheeky taglines about that. But I wanted to this is how glance back works. So I just saw that it was going to go off because sometimes you can see if it's happening and then X out of it. So that's my one for today. Yeah, but I don't know. Should we open it up to
I have
chat?
Hey chat.
Chat.
I have two more things, maybe just because
Yeah.
we have this little we brought merchandise over there because we're very commercial today, and of course we have to present ourselves. Yeah, let me get this. I'm here, right? Yeah. There is on the shelf over there is a piece from 2023. It's called "Delusion and Survival." It's referring to this concept of the AI will. It's another AI work, actually. Yeah, to the big, like the super AI will take over and kill every humans to continue making paper clips. And this idea would be like, these are the paper clips they would make. So I had this produced in China. And you can have like custom-made paper clips there. They're sitting on the shelf over there, and the box is €10, and there's 50 pieces in there. And also, there's I don't even have it on here. Do I have it? Oh, I think I have. Let me find that picture. There's another picture because I have mouse pads over there, and somehow I have to find that picture quickly. Wait, yeah. Oh, this goes too fast now. Wait, my pictures kind of. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Something's happening. Yeah, the picture folder is always interesting, I think. So I also had a little, not a script, but more like that's the mouse pad. That's the mouse pad. Opening with terminal all my pictures, and there was the mouse pad. We will look at it, but also this picture I just took this afternoon when I went to the train near Hamburg main station. I found a box of broken phones, which is sitting under the desk here now, and I posted online. You can I will sign them after the show. You can have one, like a broken phone with the Aram Bartholl signature. It's just the screens, actually. It's kind of interesting. It's like this, there's no back anymore. So some shop closed and they threw all these out.
You found that today?
Yeah, just
wow.
today. Yeah, so it's
serendipitous.
And this is the mouse pad. It's a Berlin mouse pad. It's passwords with the word Berlin in there. And I filtered them from all these big password dumps. So and there's like sometimes there's interesting ones. You have like Tresor Berlin. So maybe if you work there, and like the typical ones, of course. And if you can come up with a password, you have it right there. So that's from my side. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We asked you relay the chat to us, or hey chat, what's your questions? Oh, you have questions? Because I don't see the stream. Like now we need like this proper streaming setup and like.
It feels like talking to God.
I want to ban some people. Can I ban some people?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Questions?
I also plan to close all the pictures like this, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, so I wanted to ask Maya regarding your glance back project. Have you ever caught yourself being more performative with it rather than spontaneous? Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I also think about it. It's a little bit because I made it, and so I share a lot of my own photos about it. But also when I made it, I was a bit younger, and I think I had a more romantic idea of authenticity that I thought I could write some software to capture a more authentic version of myself. And my thinking on that has really evolved to feel like actually this is not, me on Instagram or a different platform is not more real than or more fake than Glanceback. It's just a different dimension. And it's very natural to be different in different scenarios. Like I'm different right now than I would be like hanging with my grandmother or whatever. But like that's not because I'm being fake now or fake with her. It's just like contextual. And that's kind of the like idea of performance and self that I subscribe to. And so for me, what I did with Glanceback just created like a really different context for performance actually. And so I do feel like there is a layer of performance. I mean, I've been using it for, it's all stored locally. So your photos aren't sent to a server or anything, but you can see like my first one on this computer was in 2022. So a little while ago. And it's become this really sacred way for me to capture my life. And it definitely captures a dimension of me, but it has become so meaningful to me actually that I do think about, okay, what do I want to remember? What do I want to save? So it's almost like this kind of layer of performance in that, in what I write. And, there's a bit of time where you can catch it, or the secret, you can like refresh the page if it's taking the photo and it'll retake it. Which I try not to do that often, but because I've kind of in my head dispelled this idea that I can be truly authentic. And anyway, it's kind of like just a different strain of performance.
I think I also have some questions, so it would be super interesting to hear what your inspiration, maybe like net art inspirations are, Maya, because we heard a little bit of Aram's, like Jody, for example. So it would be super cool to hear from you.
Yeah. Oh, so many. I think, like I feel really inspired by I guess like different categories of artists, but like in the net art era, like Olia Lealina, Aurea Harvey, Jody, people who are really also, wait, can I share my favorite website?
Please. That's
I feel like, okay, this is one of my favorite artists, and she's kind of in the dance world more. I grew up as a dancer, and I met her at this like kind of dance and technology conference, but one of my favorite, her name is Michelle Ellsworth, and she's definitely one of my favorite net artists also, but she kind of, operates very much in the dance world. Okay, this is my favorite artwork ever. It's called Motivational Video Archive, and she's been doing it since the 90s, and it's kind of like, I think, ostensibly continuing to go into present. I don't have exactly knowledge of when it was last updated, but she basically made this because she realized that the best person to give her advice was herself, and she would ask her husband at the time or other people for advice, and felt like you know when you ask, you kind of like approach someone with an issue, and then they don't say what you want to hear, and then you're frustrated, but then you're like, okay, well, how are they gonna know what I want to hear? And so that's kind of the premise of this work, is that only you really know what you need to hear about anything. So you can see that there's really funny there's really funny titles, which I love, like Don't Be Insecure. Like Don't Think Work. Okay, this one I've actually watched a lot. Where is it? Oh, You're Not Done. Which, when you're kind of working on a project and you're so tired of working on it, and you kind of have to remind yourself, like, it's, and you kind of are like, well, I could just end it now because it's like kind of good, but then you're like, it's not there. So this one's like, You're Not Done. Okay, but I want to play Admit You Want It. That's one of my favorite ones.
Okay, I think we should about what you're thinking and about what you're feeling. I have to say, there's something going on, and I think you need to say what you're feeling. And I know you don't want to say it out loud, and I know you don't want it to say to anyone who will ever hold you accountable for it, but I think you should say it. You should say it to yourself, you should say it to me. Just say it once. Because I have to say, you're off. You're funky and you're off. There's all this stuff that's going on, and I'm like, what the? It's suspicious. The Diet Coke, the licorice assortment, the Skittles, the chocolate, the salami. You're all over the place. There's no, like, continuity. There's no through line. You're, like, grasping. The bun, the scarf, it's all totally suspicious. Why are you doing that? Let me tell you my theory. I think you're trying to distract yourself and make sufficient amount of noise and clamor so you don't have to say that you want something. And I know you have fear about saying that you want something because you think that maybe you won't get it. And you know what? That's right. You might not get it. But I still think you should just say it. Just say it. And I have to say, come on. You're not complaining. I get that. You're not complaining. You have gotten so many things that you wanted. Some you did not get, but there are many that you did. So it's not like an act of ingratitude to say, I would also like this, please. Okay, so I know you're suspicious.
Anyway, so... Okay, the way that she's talking, always watching them honestly makes me so emotional, because it's like a way that you wouldn't talk to a friend, kind of. Like, it's a little meaner because she's like talking to herself, but it's also so kind of raw in the way she's trying to communicate with herself, and I always find it really helpful to watch when I'm, any of these feelings. Okay, wait, there's one that's, some of them are killed neighbor's fish. So funny and bad.
I mean, maybe that's also interesting regarding the question you got before, the performativity of your work.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was also wondering this, like, I mean, we don't really have to talk about the title because it's just like, it's a gallery surfing session, though it's the topic of Chat Is This Real? But the Chat Is This Real was so interesting also to us because you kind of, like, this idea of the chat, now everybody is kind of the chat also offline. You talk with people as if they are chat, kind of. You say chat. And like it would be interesting, is this like kind of a development you also see maybe like for artworks now? There's not like an audience or like a viewer or visitor, maybe it's not even user anymore. Now it's this chat that maybe like the expectation is to like for more communication. I don't know, like that maybe would be interesting.
Yeah, no, I was really excited that you all were into this title, because it was really Chat Is This Real was really top of mind for me, because I was talking about it with my parents. My boyfriend and I were trying to explain Chat Is This Real to my parents, and the concept of how it's really evolved, like it was kind of saying on the meme page, to kind of, people will say it in person or kind of say it even out of the context of Twitch, which happens a lot, to memes and language online. But to me, what I was so fascinated about by it, which goes back to the performance thing, it's kind of this acknowledgement of like a third party observer. And Molly Soda has a really great work actually called, maybe I can't remember the exact title, like Sorry or Apologizing, of like a script with moments of people apologizing in a YouTube video, where it's like this moment where you acknowledge that you are performing for a viewer, and Chat Is This Real is like, it just totally encompasses that moment, I think, for streamers. And also in the way that people kind of have like evolved to use it, it's this moment of just acknowledging audience, and of course art, like acknowledging kind of like this incredulous attitude toward the things that you encounter online, or like contemporary encounters with artificiality. So I'm kind of into it, like, for both of those reasons. I don't know.
Yeah, I just opening other stuff here, and I thought it's maybe a good context. Yeah, I mean, not so much. Yeah, also about, is this real? Maybe in a way, I don't know. I mean, but this is a work I did, I don't know, 2011 or something. It's a online gallery playset, so you can download this PDF. I hope the PDF is still there, and then you open up a browser, like multiple browser windows, and you build this playset, you put this playset together, and then you can play an online exhibition. And there's a video over here going on. This is Petra Cartwright, Constant Dillard, Slotowski, right? Is this you? Yeah. And Raphael Rosen. So very important, that person behind the desk, which is bored.
Okay, also, I was just continuing to think about Chat Is This Real, also in the context of what we're doing now and the culture of reaction videos, and like kind of the new layer of desire to consume content or media or experience something like through a layer of reaction. The top of mind example is like, okay, like me reacting to Blackpink's new music video or whatever. And like there's something, the kind of chat, like saying Chat Is This Real, someone having this really like major reaction to something, and I think that gives the viewer watching it like a new layer of appreciation, or like meta layer of engagement with the content, which is interesting. And then I feel like that's kind of what, like, I love going to stuff like this and viewing artwork in this way that I can view on my home computer or by myself at home, but kind of like live, this kind of live reaction to it. I think it's really a nice way to view that art.
I just got a question in the chat. Is this real? Yeah. You can also see the live here. Maybe we do the full circle now, of course. I hope we don't get like a feedback or something. We're gonna get a feedback, right? Oh, nice. But Igor is asking, probably like Igor can't understand me now anymore, but if the digital public space is still possible, sort of. He asked something along the lines of that. And of course it's so important to like, log off these platforms and do websites again, like be on servers, do websites. Friends were doing like an RSS feed workshop the other month, like just to teach people how to do RSS. And obviously now it's so with Twitter like going all gaga and Trump and all this, like we know it's a nightmare. And the monopolies are playing out really badly now. I wanted to see the chat actually. Yeah, Twitch. Yeah, here we go. Well, yeah. More questions from the audience, maybe. Or I don't know. You want to see certain works?
Yeah, I have two questions, or maybe also need some help, because I mean, maybe for the title, you said in the beginning you don't like the IRL because of course online is also real, and I have always this problem when we organize like online meetings and offline, and I don't know, I really have no words how to describe it, because if I say offline, it's in contrast to online, which is also weird, or say physical meetings in contrast to online. So I'm still struggling there, and I would like just to curious what words you have for these.
In teaching, it's always like it's digital or analog. That's like, oh, it's a digital meeting or it's analog meeting. That's like what you. But back in Corona times, I had this students would not show up, and then they were like, presence. I thought digital presence. Like,
yeah.
So they really want like. They're still like, or maybe it's an excuse, but mix it up. So it's a good question. I mean, so there's like this digital analog is like these stupid old words, and we know it's like everything is interconnected and blah blah blah. And already also today I talked like the cloud is not a cloud and all these things we know, but for the concepts, I mean, now the MediaMarkt guy is digital minister, so it's going to be very much along the lines of that, I guess.
And maybe the second question is more, I feel in both of your works, there are some works are really slow or very, like you do these shots from yourself since years and so on, and at the same time you serve the web and there's all these new things. So I'm more curious, what is there for you in this slowness, or do you, like I cannot see, but it's just more like a feeling I have. Can you maybe speak to that in some way?
Yeah. I really like that question, and I think it's I feel like the embracing of slowness, and in combination with kind of the high speed necessity of being an artist sometimes, especially being an artist who works online, is kind of this commitment to being an artist as a long-term lifestyle, and kind of the belief that, okay, I know, like, you know, artists, the word practice is often used when people talk about like the way that an artist works, but I really like that word because it doesn't like imply production necessarily. It's just like an act that you continue to do all of the time, and even in the way that we're like clicking around today, I just feel like time spent doing that inevitably sort of like feeds into your practice in ways that you don't even know. And so, yeah, but I think at the root of a lot of my work is this fear of forgetting, which is why, and kind of this panicked feeling that I have about self-documentation, because I'm worried I'm going to forget who I was and who I am. And so that's why I made Glance Back, I really believe, and like continue to make these like both slow and fast markers of like or how I feel about in certain moments. But I think, yeah, it's nice to have that range. And I think something like Glance Back, it's nice to have it last so long because it's kind of automatic. If I had to do something, I'm not sure it would have gone on as long as it has continued to go on, you know, but that's what's cool about software. Yeah. And so it's, yeah, become kind of this really important work to me through its duration, but just because I made it a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, slowness. I agree. It's very important. I'm also, of course, addicted to screens and to apps, and there's always, I mean, that's why we called it total screen time of the phones that show like and brain rot and how much time you spend there. So there's always that battle going on, and to have something longer going on always helps. Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe then we ask one more question, and then we are already 1.5 hours. Maybe
We
that's
need a
good.
drink now, yeah.
But yeah, maybe just, well, we also do another project space that's called Rosa. And at Rosa, we have this reading group called Fuck the Internet. Let's read texts about the internet. And some of the people are here today. And so, yeah, maybe we can talk about it, because you also in your pieces, I mean, you seem to love the internet, but then also you work with all this, like, you reference this manosphere and the toxic masculinity, and Aram also, you also use the internet a lot. You have all these TikToks of of exhibition openings and stuff like this. But then you're also very critical. I'm just wondering, like, do you still love the internet? How do you handle it?
Yeah, that punching bag, I can't remember if I said this right. Oh, thanks. That punching bag piece I have with the TikToks on the phone is called Love/Hate, and that's usually, I mean, how I describe my work about being online. But it's really important and challenging and complex to me to have the relationship that I do to being online and online subcultures, because I'm making work about being online. And I think I often feel that there's a bit of a pull or a desire for people to want to perceive my work as, I'm outside of these subcultures and critiquing them because I'm an artist, and like, there's kind of a desire for this perspective to be like, I'm an artist and I'm smart and I'm outside of these like silly online subcultures, and because of like the complexity of the platforms that they're embedded in. But I really like to make work that's very rooted in this ambiguity, and I think it's really complicated, but it's kind of like making work about it is my way through dealing with all the kind of layers of complexity around my feelings toward being online, and kind of loving the indulgent modes of engaging with a platform while also feeling hyper critical of a lot of their structures and the power dynamics that are embedded in them. And so, yeah, I think there's often a desire to kind of wrap a neat narrative around an artist's work engaging with the internet or around the internet in general. And I'm really interested in artists who are kind of like really rooting in the complexity of it. And I feel a bit suspicious of people who are like wholly condemning, sometimes it feels like of like a certain subculture, or experiences online. And so I like to keep it kind of always be doing these different qualifications. The internet?
You like to still like it, or
I like to still like it. Yeah. Well, I like to proceed with caution and kind of acknowledge my suspicions while also acknowledge the ways that I love it, that I'm kind of ashamed of, because like a lot of it's bad, you know. But I think there's something really interesting to tease out in that feeling.
Yeah, maybe we can end on because I had this discussion for myself like a long time ago with I think when the Snowden thing happened. This is like 2014. Yeah, after the Snowden revelations was already that thing like where like it's so broken, and it's like mass surveillance all over the place. Now it's like the total fuck up with the big platforms. I mean, yeah, EU's putting some fines on Google and Apple, etc. Or hopefully they will like break up Meta, which they're trying now in US. But of course, it's a big clusterfuck right now. So this was already for me in 2014, 13. This like feeling, well, when there was hope, like around the 2000 or even in the 90s, you would think like, oh yeah, computers, a blog, blah blah blah. Everybody needs like a publishing tool, and then the democracy will be great. But then obviously it's not happening. So and now it's like really fueling like Twitter and these platforms really fueling like the nightmare. So it's I'm in a good mood right now, but it's quite hard to be optimistic about this. It's not helping right now, not at all. And now we have the whole slop thing going on with. It's kind of funny. I hope this is also what I said this morning. Like I hope all the slop feeding of AI stuff in the networks, kind of it eats up itself. Like they have bots watching AI-generated slop to prove there's still something moving on Facebook, but maybe it's driving away everybody. And I see the students, they making a stop-motion movie and cut out by hand like 800 frames in paper and then take pictures to make a 1-minute film. And they're really like, it's like the natural reaction to this right now, I think, like to go back there. But, well, yeah, I mean, it's still there. We need it, and it's good to go off the big platforms and do websites and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yay. More websites.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks, Chad.
Thanks, chat. It was real.
Yeah, and I have some old phones for you if you want.
Yay.